Hey, what's up guys? It's Maverick here with another episode of ReZero Season 2. So, we are entering into the last stretch of this season. We're barreling towards the end here, although there's still quite a lot of stuff to do, right? Subaru's at the mansion right now, but, I've always said that the clear condition, the win condition for that part of the story is to get Beatrice on his side, which, obviously hasn't happened yet. And then on the other hand, we still got Emilia, who has to, go through the third trial, which I suppose would be an alternate future, maybe, and then perhaps get the entire Roswell situation under control. But one thing at a time. Let's just get into the episode right now. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. All right, so we're starting back at the mansion first, eh? Oof. Right into the eye. Yeah, I said she's a sadist. And a masochist. I'm pretty sure you can still die. Oh, speaking of. About that. Good instincts, Otto. Oh? With the power of science? Yay, no opening. It's kind of funny, but I really would appreciate more if they showed more story, right? Especially for a long series like this. Okay. I guess this particular Mubbeast is not really bright. Oh, hey! It is the power of science. Alright. Boom. I think the dust that actually explodes. You'd probably have to have like sawdust or something. Well, Subaru is no Senku. That much is obvious. Oh, we got a hellhound now. Oh, never mind. The hellhound is dead. What would happen to Beatrice if... Yeah, I think... Yeah, I think he's worried about Beatrice. I was wondering, like, what would happen to Beatrice if the entire mansion burns down? And, her interdimensional space and whatnot. Meanwhile, the disaster that is yet to come. Okay, I guess maybe perhaps not exactly an alternate reality, but the fate of the world if nothing is done. Something like that? Nothing. Hmm? Oh, Emilia? My granddaughter. Hmm? No, I'm just trying. I'm actually trying to piece together who's saying what. And I think there are quite a few people that showed up that we haven't seen in a while. Oh, well, welcome to the tea party. Hmm? Oh, she's certainly quick on the uptake. They don't. Didn't she invite you here? Huh. Hmm. Are those all the alternate versions that could have happened if? I'm assuming it's like if Subaru failed all those times and whatnot. No, the could have beens, right? Yeah. And I guess that's why Subaru was eventually given the power of redoing, right? Because I'm still convinced, right? I'm still convinced that it's the entire backstory kind of goes full circle, right? I just keep on having this sneaking suspicion in my mind that superpowers were actually granted to him by Emilia, or some version of her. Hmm? What? Huh? And I'm actually pretty convinced that that's probably happened sometime in the past with some version of Emilia. Or Satilla. I mean, anyways. Ekidona? Yep. Mm-hmm. Is it? Well, I'm glad that nothing bad is gonna happen out of destroying the barrier and the sanctuary, but okay. Or was she actually. What? Why doesn't she. Oh. So that means Roswell managed to. And of course, we now have to go back to here. Ah! Actually, that was kind of expected, though. I guess now they're gonna fight together. Huh. Really? They are actually sisters? Ooh. Huh. That has, honestly, out of everything that happened this episode, that might be the most surprising thing. That might be the most surprising thing that came out of all this. What? And something's gonna happen. Oh, no, we get an actual fight. Oof. Damn. Beast against beast. Oh, oh. Ooh, nice. Damn. Don't lose your head. Oh. Garfield's reached his limit as well. Where is Big Sis right now? A vampire. Yeah, you are pretty precious. I kind of agree with Elsa on this one. I'm alive. Or something like that. Okay, so I guess Meili isn't exactly her biological sister or something. Yeah, she just wants your insides. Although he can't really continue to be endearing and cute if he's dead, you know, Elsa. But, you know, nice to know that vampires exist in this world as well. And that they are as OP as ever. Oh. Oh. Oof. That doesn't really work though, Garfield. I don't think. I don't know that. Now that Garfield's been bitten by a vampire, does that mean he's gonna turn into a vampire? Boom. Love me down to my blood and guts. Oh my god. What? Man, I want to see all three battles at the same time. Doctoring the contract? Hmm. Yeah, that's also one of the biggest questions I have as well. Like, Puck's memories, right? I feel like that's also quite critical to understanding what happened in the past. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's not her true wish. So I was like, what? Yes. This love. I mean, aren't you basing everything you're doing on love as well, Roswell? Oof. Nope. I guess as a straight spirit, he can do whatever he wants. So, are they just trying to get Roswell to, like, expend all his mana? Or one last... Hoi! Punch! Oof. Not just a punch. Oh, the book. Into the fire? Oof. Whoa. Oof. How are the... How exactly are we going to get back from all this? Like, you're telling me that Ram will eventually survive that? I mean, I guess it's not a given, but at the same time, I just don't think that she'd be killed off in just, such a manner. I mean, it'd be sick, absolutely sick, and in both ways of the term, if that actually happened. Wow. Ah. Damn, this is Ram's song. Yeah, this ending song is Ram's song. Okay. Anyways. Well, out of respect for Ram, you gotta listen to the end. Alright, see you guys after this. Wow, guys, this was another epic episode. And there's so many things to talk about, I don't even know where to start. Like, literally, the ending song there with Ram and whatnot actually, saying her feelings out loud and yet getting blown away and whatnot, but still managing to do what she set out to do in the first place, which is burn that book of wisdom, which even at this point, I still don't know who actually wrote that book or what it actually means. You would think that perhaps by reading it so often, Rosa would have memorized it by now, or maybe it doesn't work like that, and it just it continuously updates or something like that. But in any case, I mean, wow. And then the ending song there being Ram's theme song, I guess you could say. The things you didn't know, or the feelings that you didn't know, right? Would be the translation for that. And I mean, that is epic, right? And then we also, funnily enough, since we're speaking of Ram, it's also the first time we've heard Rem's voice in a long, long time, which was during the Emilia flashback scene. But man, Ram, wow. I did hear some people saying that in the original light novel, actually Ram did this all by herself without Puck. So I'm actually really interested to know how exactly she managed to pull it off, right? Because clearly there's still a huge power discrepancy between Ram and Roswell. So how exactly did she manage to trick him in the end and get the and sacrifice herself to get the book, right? I don't know. And speaking of sacrifice, is this actually goodbye for Ram, right? I never, especially for shonen stuff, I never say that however bad the situation may seem, I will never be convinced that someone is dead until we literally see their corpse and body on screen, and it's fully confirmed, right? Otherwise, to me, it's always it's always a question mark as to what actually happened. Not to mention, especially in this series with Subaru's abilities and whatnot, it's really hard to say, right? So, but regardless of that, I think just the way that everything went down, you gotta show a lot of respect for Ram, and that's great for me, right? Because honestly, I like Ram very much. I like her character a lot, even more so than Ram. Don't hurt me, guys, but I do prefer this kind of girl. But anyways, so moving on from that, because there's so much to talk about, right? Emilia. Looking at the various futures and whatnot, which is also when Rem made an appearance. I'm just assuming it has to do with all the other variations where Subaru might have failed, right? I'm not going to get into specifics of that, but once again, I do think that there is a very what Ekidona was saying to her actually, was it Ekidona? Or no, it was the Justice Girl, right? Saying that, hey, how can you still remain so optimistic even after seeing all that? And the answer being that because there still is possibility to have a good route, right? That's exactly the same as what Subaru is doing right now. So that's why I think I mentioned this theory I had a long time ago, how I feel like perhaps at the end of the day, Subaru's abilities might have been given to him by Satilla, and Satilla's relation with Emilia at this point, it's still very vague, right? But it's definitely probably, even with Emilia vehemently denying any relation with Satilla and trying to say, she is her own self and so on and so forth, I think there's undeniably some big connection between all this and the reason why this story is happening in the first place, right? So, I just found it kind of like an ironic kind of situation, I guess you could say, considering the two parallels here. And, moving on from that theory again, what exactly is Emilia's relationship with all these other witches, right? Because they clearly know about her. And I just don't quite understand what exactly... See, I just don't think it makes sense if Emilia was simply the child of Satilla, right? The biological child of Satilla or something like that. I just don't think it makes sense, because why put so much, why put so much of your emotions and whatnot into someone who is quite literally has nothing to do with what their parents did, right? It doesn't make any logical sense to me at all. No matter how much you hate their parent or whatnot, transferring all that hate and energy into their daughter of some sort, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? So that's why I keep on saying I think the sort of relationship between Satilla and Emilia is very much more so than just what they say, the daughter of Satilla or something of that sort. And when they mean daughter, I think they actually mean that perhaps the seed of Satilla, right? Emilia will eventually bloom into the witch known as Satilla or something of that sort. They are one and the same, right? And that would make a lot more sense to Ekidona's emotions, to the girls, to the Switch's emotions as well, right? Especially when Emilia mentioned that, hey, she would like to have a nice tea party with them sometime. I think it makes a lot more sense if they were once peers, right? If they were once good friends, and then for her to have this sort of reaction and emotion, right? But, that's still far on into the future. I'm not going to continue on this, but, it definitely leaves a lot to the imagination, right? But, let's put that aside for now. Elsa, like to me, honestly, the biggest surprise this episode was actually, Elsa's story and Elsa's relationship with Maylee and whatnot. When they're saying sisters, are they actually saying biological sisters, or are they just saying that they're, they treat each other similar to sisters? But I mean, one thing is clear: Elsa clearly cares about Maylee's safety and whatnot, right? We can see that she's constantly distracted by that and all. And I mean, I was just saying the last 2 episodes ago that, hey, we finally get an antagonist character. Elsa is one of those antagonist characters where we really don't have to worry too much about their reasons for doing things and all that. And yet, in this episode, they immediately say Elsa's reasons for doing these things. Although, saying it out doesn't exactly make her any more relatable or maybe sympathetic towards her, but still, it is nice to know that all of these so-called evil characters, right, these bad characters, these antagonist characters, they have their own reasons as well. And by the way, if it wasn't clear by now, I'm not putting Echidna or Roswell or all the others into that category, because I think there is definitely a bigger thing amongst all this, and it's really too how can I say it? It's too premature to really categorize them into whichever place here. And I gotta say, Elsa, I mean, she was creepy till the end, her vampire powers and her both sadistic and masochistic nature and whatnot, but you gotta admit, there is something oddly very attractive about her. I guess I just like dangerous women, right? I just like women who are strong, powerful, and are able to kick your ass, similar to Ram and whatnot. But anyways, so yeah, lots of good stuff happening this episode. So Subaru went back to find Beatrice once again. I think this whole thing will end. The thing at the mansion will end once Subaru convinces Beatrice and all that, and then we clear that thing. Well, we might be in a situation where the both sides are going to be cleared independently, right? One side, Subaru handling the mansion side, and then Emilia and Ram handling the sanctuary side, or at least prepping it for the clear condition, the win condition here, right? Oh, one thing I forgot to mention during this episode is the scene where Emilia saw Echidna's corpse, right? So I think what's being implied here is that Echidna planted the same sort of imprint, or whatever you want to call it, into Emilia, the same that she planted into Subaru, right? So that they're not going to remember their sort of dealings and their interactions with Echidna. And so that's probably why Emilia was not able to recognize Echidna here. Although, even with that being said though, right, considering this room was supposed to be Echidna's tomb, there's a body laying here, I think it should be pretty obvious that is probably Echidna's corpse or something of that sort, right? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. So it did strike me as sort of surprising that Emilia would simply, break the barrier and whatnot, and then pay no heed to whoever was in there and just hurry up and go. But hey, whatever, right? So I at least that's what I'm assuming this whole thing is going down. And is Echidna going to be revived from the dead and all that now that the barrier is broken? Hard to say, right? Because we still don't know exactly what happened to her all those hundreds of years ago in the past while they were being assaulted and whatnot, right? I mean, technically the barrier was supposed to be set up by someone else, right? Or was it eventually going to be powered by Echidna anyways? Well, I guess that's just something we'll have to see in the next few episodes, if they actually are kind enough to tell us. Anyways, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time as well. Bye-bye.